And a good spiritual morning to you once again. I'm Father Cosmas. Thanks for joining me today for a quick chat and, of course, our morning cup of coffee. And as promised, when we hit 1,000 subscribers, we'd have a very special video with a very special guest. And so I have joining me today my wife, Perezvitera, Michelle.
Good morning.
And what are you drinking today?
We're having a little mushroom coffee this morning with my husband. As he drinks a real cup of coffee, I have some mushrooms in my cup.
Although I usually have decaf. But so we're going to talk a little bit today. And what is coming to mind as I'm thinking about us doing the video together is the Big Bang Theory. When you remember Sheldon Cooper doing fun with flags, if you've ever seen that. And at one point he has his girlfriend on, Amy Farrah Fowler. So it's Dr. Sheldon Cooper and Amy Farrah Fowler present Dr. Sheldon Cooper's Fun with Flags. So I don't want to be sort of dominating the conversation. I want us to have a nice sort of back and forth and unscripted conversation about things as we reflect back about Good Spiritual Morning over the past 4+ years and over 600 videos, just to think about what an experience it's been like and to think back about our channel on YouTube. So when you think back about Good Spiritual Morning, what comes to mind, or what do you think about?
Well, it's been an interesting 4 years, as it has been for many of you, but something that we did anticipating the fact that this was going to happen. Some of the kids and I went back and looked at your very first video, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to see how different you look. It was a lot of fun to see how many backgrounds that you've had. And I started reminiscing about some of my favorite episodes.
Sure. So it's been a while since we've been doing this. I started doing this during COVID, of course, because we shut down the churches and I couldn't see people regularly. And so it started like, well, how could I have sort of coffee hour once again with my parishioners, my families? And so we started this sort of coffee talk. And I started it in our church in Chicago. So I was doing it in my office in Chicago. Then when we couldn't really go to the church anymore, I was doing it in my house. If you look at some of the old videos, you'll see different backgrounds. So I did some videos in the church, some videos in my church office. Then I was in a prayer corner in my house. Then, of course, we got transferred and we moved to Virginia. So then I started doing it on the East Coast. I was doing it in the church office on the East Coast. So there's some of those. And then I was doing it in the basement of the house we were renting in Virginia. And then, of course, we got transferred out to the West Coast. So now I'm doing it in my office here at Annunciation. So it's been a journey. We've been doing it in the Midwest and the East Coast and on the West Coast and all sorts of different places, and just trying to keep up with engaging people when we couldn't see people. And then people just seemed to continue to like it and continue to watch it. And so I just kept on doing it. And it's a very strange thing. We were just a clergy laity. And to sort of see people that I haven't seen or talked to, even people that I haven't met before, that sort of say, oh, I watch you on YouTube. I see your video. Thanks for this video or that video. Or when I see comments, because if anyone comments on a video, I get an email. And it's really humbling to see people watching this little video series on YouTube, all over the country, and in some cases, different parts of the world. And it's really kind of a humbling thing.
I think for a lot of us, it's fun because when you first started during COVID, you were doing it 5 days a week. So we knew Dad was going to make, some videos and to talk to people. And I think what I've enjoyed is seeing some of the lighter hearted, where you're talking about movies or streaming or different episodes of shows that we've seen that impacted us or made us laugh. And then some of my favorite ones are when I watch and I'm surprised because you give us a little punch or you give us a little motivation to come at us spiritually. So the roller coaster ride has been a lot of fun, and it's been fun to see you grow in how you want to reach out to people, what topics people have asked you to speak about. I can't imagine that it's easy to find content over 4 years of things to talk about.
Right. I mean, that's honestly the most challenging part. Now I've gone down to 2 days a week, but when we first started, it was Monday through Friday, 5 days a week. And it is challenging because you want to keep it lighthearted and engaging. You want it just to be conversational. So people sort of ask, how many takes, do I usually take to do a video? And one, I don't edit the videos really. I just trim the beginning where I'm turning the camera on and turn the end where I'm turning the camera off. Usually it's one take. Usually I have an idea for something I want to talk about. I just sit down and just talk. And but it is challenging to continue to come up with things. But then life happens, and things happen, in the news or in the media, or different movies and TV shows get released, and so it's just having a nice, cup of coffee and chatting with somebody. But I try to have a take home. I try to have something that can be beneficial to us to just think about and maybe motivate us to think about something that might benefit us in our spiritual life. And that's also challenging. So in many ways, it's like trying to come up with 3 sermons a week, and in the past case, 6 sermons a week. And after 600 plus videos, that can be challenging. But it's a very rewarding. I mean, we talked before about how it's been kind of a consistent part of our ministry over the past 3 parishes that we've been at. And really one of the most rewarding parts of my ministry, especially when people text me or email me, saw that video, thank you so much for that. It really helped me get through something or think about something differently. And like I said, that's humbling because you don't think about that. I'm sort of just putting these out there as a way of just trying to connect and stay connected with families and parishioners and try to help people in a different way. So shifting gears a little bit, we recently traveled overseas because a couple of our sons graduated from grad school and college. And so I'm probably going to be doing a series of videos covering all of those travels because we were blessed to go to different parts. We went to Chicago, we went to Iceland, we went, of course, to Greece, different parts of Greece, Athens, outside of Athens, and Thessaloniki. And then also on the way back, we went to Ireland just for a stopover in Dublin because it was cheaper to fly home that way. And so I'm going to do some videos reflecting on those travels, maybe sharing some videos and some pictures from that. But I just wanted to kind of say, maybe we talk a little bit, just sort of introducing those videos, because we've never been to Greece together. We've been married almost 30 years. I hadn't been to Greece since 1990. You hadn't been to Greece
since 87.
Since 87. So it'd been a while.
It was exciting to take the trip together. I think that when you've gone through 30 years of a relationship and you want to get out of your routine and get out of the box and get out of maybe just get some fresh air. It's like opening a window and all of a sudden you get to hold hands in another country and think, we're going to make it. We're doing this and we're going to make this trip and the jet lag's not going to get us and we're going to, we had 2 weeks and we had 8 flights. So we overbooked it. I overbooked it a little bit, but it was important to see the boys graduate. It was important to spend time, as you all know, those of you who have older children, you're blessed to have those who are under your roof, but sometimes when they are away for years at a time, it was a very special time to spend with the boys that no longer live with us and to get to know them as adults and to get to have adult conversations. But I think it's going to be a lot of fun for you to share some pictures and share some stories about our travels and some laughter. It was very interesting to see different parts of the world.
It was. And finishing up on that note, maybe finishing up or wrapping up this video, I will have to admit the jet lag hit me more now that I'm in my 50s than it used to when I was in my 20s or 30s. Going there was fine. We kind of adjusted okay. Coming back, I think I'm still jet lagged, to be honest with you. Like 10 days later, I still don't feel like I'm in the right time zone. And, when we came back, then we turned around in a couple days and we went down to San Diego for the Clergy Lady Congress. And so even though we were in the same time zone, we kind of like, we're getting back on a plane, we're traveling again. And we did that and it was a wonderful experience. But yeah, it was a great experience. And the next few videos, I'm going to see how many I'm going to be able to make. But I kind of want to share quite a bit of what we learned and what we thought about for that trip, going again to Chicago, then our experience in Iceland, which is like another planet. And then, of course, Greece, which everyone said, Greece has changed and it's totally different. You won't recognize it. We'll talk about that. I think it was, different and then not so much different. It's pretty much the same. And different parts of Greece, which were great. And then coming through Ireland, which was a wonderful surprise because it was just a layover. Hadn't really thought about being there. And it was one of the most wonderful surprises of the trip. And then, of course, coming home. So the next few videos we'll probably do based on that and talk about that and some different things that I'm thinking about. But it's wonderful to do this video together. Wonderful to celebrate 1,000 subscribers. I never would have thought that I would ever get 1,000 subscribers. I know by YouTube standards it's nothing, it's minuscule. But I remember when I first started streaming and live streaming the services during COVID, and I was streaming them on my phone. And I had to use Streamlabs because I couldn't live stream on YouTube because at the time you had to have 1,000 subs to live stream. So it's amazing, it's wonderful. Thank you so much for doing that. It's been a pleasure. I want to thank President Michelle for being on the video. And we'll continue talking about that over the next few videos and learning about different things as we continue each and every day Amen.